StampinByTheSea.com. I'm excited to show you this card today, but I'm going to do this one a little bit differently in the process of showing you how to do it, just because it kind of takes a long time to make these little the little tree here, but I want to show you how to create it so you can create your own. So let's get started. Let's talk about some of the products that you're going to need to make this happen. So one of the things you're going to need is just a 4 1/4 by 11. This is Whisper White and it's the thick. And you're going to need the Holly Jolly Greetings. Actually, any stamp set would work for this card. I just chose this one because I love the snowflake and I love these big words and the smaller ones as well. So for the Whisper White, I am just stamping this snowflake using the Blushing Bride. It's like a real soft pink. I love this color. It's one of my favorites. And once we're done with that, we can put that to the side. Now, a couple other things you're going to need is a piece of watercolor paper, and this just measures 3 by 4 1/2. You're going to need a piece of cherry cobbler, and this is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then you're just going to need another scrap piece of Whisper White, and you just want regular Whisper White for that. I'm going to put those to the side for a second. The other thing you're going to need is the Typeset Designer Series paper. And the reason I chose the Typeset Designer Series paper is because it's a very thin designer paper. Unlike our regular patterns that we have, it's that pattern paper is a little thicker. This is more pliable to work with, and so bending the paper, while you can bend the other patterns, this just bends so nicely. So I love this paper anyways. It's just a very vintage antique look, and that's right up my alley. So you're going to need 16 of these 3 inch by, it's just a 1/4 inch wide. Okay, so 16 of those. And then you'll also need about 10 2 3/4 inch long by a 1/4 inch. And then I also have some pieces here that are 2 1/2 inches by a 1/4 inch. And the reason I have those is just because up at the top of your tree, they're going to get shorter. So the longer pieces start here and then they get shorter and come up. So let me show you how I created the background first, and then we'll work on the tree. Now the background is actually quite simple. You're just going to have a piece of watercolor paper, and you'll need an aqua painter. And what I like to do first, if I'm going to do a watercolor wash, I'm just going to take this paper and really give it a nice soaking. And then I'm going to open up my cherry cobbler ink, and I'm going to take my painter here, and then I'm just going to really quickly go up and down the paper. I don't want to grab too much color. I want it kind of washed out because cherry cobbler is pretty dark. So I just want a nice soft look to the cherry cobbler. And if I want to add a little bit darker, I can just go in, just grab a little bit and come in. Now, when I was making this card, what I did was I let this dry on its own. You could heat set it. You definitely want it dry before you start working with your tree. But what I love to do with watercolor paper is after it's dried, I like to come back in and just add a few more pieces. And another great thing that you can do is just kind of let the water plop down on there and then gently rub it out. Okay, so it gives it a nice, pretty little watercolor wash. And you can see how those colors are kind of spreading. So pretty. All right, so let's put that to the side. And now I'm going to talk to you about doing this card, because really the first time I went through to do the video, my fingers were so sticky that the video was literally going to take probably 40 minutes by the end of it to get it all done with the amount of glue that was on my fingers. So I just want to show you how to lay this down and how you build it, because it's very, very simple and it really is pretty. So what you're going to do with your strips is take your fine tip glue pen, which works beautifully for this. It's just a very sticky glue. So you're going to put a little dab there, and then take your fingers and just kind of give it a little so it dries. Now what I like to do is take these and make a few so they're easier to work with. And one of the other things about working with the typeset, and especially this particular pattern, is you got to be careful when laying your tree down to make sure that the words are not upside down. I won't tell you how I know that. And so for the first layer, you're going to need 6 of these together. So I'll just take this. And again, this glue dries pretty quickly. I'm just going to lay them down like this. Oh my, I almost made a disaster on my card. And another one. And one more. And we'll let that dry off to the side. Whoops. Didn't want to catch. And again, it's really because my fingers have a lot of glue on them. It'd be good to have a piece of like a wet wipe or something on you as you're doing this. All right, so this is not dry, so I don't want to mess with it right this second, but the basis of this is start in the middle here. Let's see if you can see this good. Oh, perfect. Put a piece of glue here, set it down. And you're going to layer these with the glue just like this. And you're going to have 6 of them going across, and they are going to slightly overlap, okay? Just like that. Now, your next layer is going to be 5. You see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, these pieces are going to be shorter. This is your 2 3/4 inch piece that you'll fold in half. There's 4, 3, and then 2 here. And so it's just a layering effect, but this is the main thing you need to know, is just folding these in half. And because, like I said, that paper is so pliable, it works beautifully. The other thing is this is very malleable because the paper is going to flatten, but as soon as they get it, they can fluff it up, and you can see all the great dimension that is on that card. Now, to finish this card, it's actually very simple. For the Comfort and Joy, that's where your scrap piece of paper is going to come in. I just stamped the Comfort and then the Joy, and then just trimmed it nice and close right to those words. This piece here is a cherry cobbler, and I just have it going off to the side. And before you do that, I just took my paper poker and made holes going all the way down. And then this piece is actually placed on with dimensionals. And then your tree will go on, and then you'll want to add an iced rhinestone to the top, and then some of the small rhinestones, maybe just on the ends of the paper. I don't know if you can see that real well in there, but aren't they pretty? Now, the last thing I did, and is one of my favorite things to do, is to take my aqua painter and grab some ink, and then I'll take either a pen or my bone folder. I'll show you how fun this can be. This can be messy. And you're just going to tap it, and that's how I can get those splatter marks. Very nice and pretty, and they really add just a little bit of funness to your cards. So that, my friends, is my Comfort and Joy tree card. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you understand it. And thanks for watching. You can find more inspiration at stampingbythesea.com. Have a great day.